Hi, everyone, and welcome. Today, we are so lucky to have with us Melissa Kirchhoff and Mackenzie Jones from Capstone, and they are going to be taking us through some best practices and the new things that are in Pebble Go. We have a really rich subscription, and they have kindly offered to pop in and share some words of wisdom with us today. So I'm just going to turn it over to Melissa and Mackenzie, and we're ready to go.
Great. Melissa, did you have anything you want to add, or should I just go ahead and jump right into the
Well, I
subscription?
haven't met everybody, but I wanted to thank you all for joining us today. I'm your Capstone representative, joined with my colleague, Mackenzie Jones. And if you ever have questions or need some support with Pebble Go or anything, reach out to us. But without further ado, Mackenzie, take it away.
Fantastic. Yeah, Melissa is a great resource for you going forward as well. My name is Mackenzie. I work in the Capstone Customer Success Department, which means I get the joy of doing things like this for you to help you make the most of your Pebble Go resources and the digital resources that you have available to you. And so I hope you'll excuse if there's a hiccup here. It's been a while since I presented on Google Meet, so we're just going to make sure that this goes like I want it to. Okay, you should be seeing Welcome to Pebble Go. Is that what everyone sees?
That is what everyone sees. You are good to
Wonderful.
go.
Okay, fantastic. So your school has a subscription to Pebble Go, or your district rather, has a subscription to Pebble Go. You have access to a wide range of content. And so we're going to take you through some of the content that you have today, some best practices, some new things that you might not have noticed within Pebble Go. And then so for those of you who are, even those of you who are really familiar with Pebble Go, I hope there'll be some new things in here, things you maybe haven't noticed or you'll be excited to see. So we'll start by taking a look at Pebble Go itself, which is of course a kindergarten through second grade resource that Capstone has developed. And then we'll take a look at some of the things that Pebble Go does. There might be some things you haven't thought of using it for in the past. We'll do just a quick walkthrough of the interface. So if you're not as familiar with the resource, this will give you a little bit of a refresher on how to access everything. And then we will take a look at some ideas for using this in your school, and you'll leave with a few activity templates and things that you can implement tomorrow if you'd like to jump in and start using that. So first of all, hopefully most of you are at least a little familiar with Pebble Go. You've accessed it over the past year. Pebble Go was really built from the ground up to be that ideal first step into research for young learners. The text is accessible for young learners. There are extra text supports that you'll find in there, like natural voice audio, word highlighting. These things provide scaffolding for students so that they can start to navigate Pebble Go independently. And it really gives them the confidence to go out there and, explore and research and begin reading on their own out here. So if we take a look at, this is your district's login. You have one district-wide subscription. So all your schools in your district have access to Pebble Go in both English and Spanish. You do have a number of ebooks that are out here as well. We'll talk about that, but you can see that those actually live here now in this same environment. So when you have logged into Pebble Go, you'll be presented with the screen here. You see you have 5 modules: animals, science, biographies, social studies, and health in both English and Spanish. You can navigate into the English or the Spanish module right from the menu. You can also switch it later at the article level if you'd prefer to do it that way. So we're going to navigate into social studies to begin with. I'm going to show you something really quick here, and then I'm going to change it. But all of these menus do read aloud when they're moused over. I don't know if that's coming through for you or not, but that is, the menus all read aloud when you mouse over them. It's really handy for students when they're accessing this on their own, but it can interrupt you if you're presenting in front of a group. So if you ever find yourself wanting to present this and you don't want to have to worry about not mousing over and being interrupted, if you go up here to the little drop-down menu, you'll see where it says hover sounds. If you just turn that off, that's going to turn off the read aloud option here, and then you won't be interrupted by your scrolling. If we look through here, just a couple of notes of, where you can find different things out here. Social studies is particularly a very, very rich database for you. So as we navigate through, there are a couple different ways you can search. You can navigate through the menu to your articles this way. You can also just do a guided text search at the top of the page. So if I just wanted to search for flag, now I'll see that this article for the American flag is also available if you start a text search at the top. Either way is going to bring you right to the article. You can see all of the Pebble Go articles are going to have these 5 tabs. They won't be the same name on it, but they'll all have a 5-tab navigation. This is really intentional, and it's really helpful for students because it helps them organize and kind of chunk the information as they are researching it. So when they go out here, your overview of the American flag, what is it? That's our first step. All of these can be read aloud by clicking the little yellow speaker icon. You can see that it does highlight as it reads along, and this is a live voice recording. This is not robotic text to speech that's going to have, it's going to accidentally read the picture caption in the wrong place or something like that. This is natural voice audio. So that's going to model correct pronunciation and fluency for students. If we move through the tabs, you can see the glossary words highlighted in red as well. Those can also be read aloud. And as we move to the back, you've got this Read More tab. This is going to be links to related articles that go along with this article. So we're talking about the American flag, linked to the Pledge of Allegiance and the Star-Spangled Banner. At the top of the page here, you'll see this Espanol. This is where you would be able to switch over to the Spanish version of the article right from within the article. It's really nice because then you don't lose your place and you don't have to navigate through the menus again. Again, these all read aloud in Spanish as well. If we move back to English, I'll show you the little options along the bottom here. You'll see the cite option gives you just a simple citation, gives you the ability to copy it directly to your clipboard. It's really never too early for your students to learn to cite their source. And this is a great way for them to start doing it with a little bit of extra support. So that copy button right there makes that possible. The article button is just going to give you a PDF of both the full article and the current page. You can save that or print it. The activity, there'll be different Share What You Know activities throughout here. They're a PDF that just goes along with the article and kind of gives them that outline so they can start making a skeleton outline of what they've been researching. And then all your Pebble Go articles are also going to have a video available for them. Where there's a video available. We can't seem to get our hands on any accurate dinosaur videos, but generally there will be a video, where it's available. And this is a great way for students to see a video or in the case of other articles, see one of their animals in action without having to go out to YouTube and down that rabbit hole of distraction that YouTube sometimes can open up for students. One really key piece within Pebble Go is going to be this copy link button. This button right here is relatively new within the last year or two. What this does is it copies onto your clipboard an authenticated link to this place within Pebble Go. So if I click this link from the American flag article and then I paste it in, can see there's this long string of letters and numbers at the end. But what that's going to do is log me in to your district's Pebble Go account, and it's going to navigate me right to this article. So this is a really easy way for you to share links to your students, to other staff members, to this content within Pebble Go. Makes it very simple for them to access because now they no longer have to log in and they no longer have to navigate the menus. They just are taken right here. This copy link button lives at the top of every article and also every menu page out in Pebble Go. So, we saw it on the American flag article. It's also here at the top of this US symbols menu. So if you're doing a unit on United States symbols, you can then send your students a link to this page and have them go out and choose which one of those US symbols that they would like to research. And this is a This is a text set. I mean, this is a set of very similarly leveled texts around a topic that your students can then choose from. That's a great resource for you to have right at your fingertips. The other thing that you'll notice at the top of the page is this little sort of wheel of fortune spinner. This is an article randomizer. So if you click this, it's just going to bring you to a randomly selected article in the module that you're in. Of course, I'm in social studies, so it's going to bring me to a randomly selected social studies article. If I follow my breadcrumb trail across the top and I back out to the home page, just a couple other highlights as far as notable content that you have available. You have the animals article or module. This is far and away our most popular module. This is where students always want to go first. They always want to learn about the animals, research their favorite animals. We keep adding new fun ones. Recently, we added this axolotls article, which is a big hit. And it consistently shows up on the most read articles on school accounts when I take a look at them. And you can see why they're very interesting and intriguing looking animals. But you know what's fun is a lot of students probably look at this and they don't know how to say it. But again, that read aloud audio tells them how to say it. And of course, there's the videos. On the animals articles, you'll also notice a range map. Of course, axolotls are only found in a very, very small area in Central America. So that is an interesting little piece of information. And you'll see, if you look out at these range maps, you'll see some accommodations that we have made for, I'll go to one that shows a slightly larger range. You'll see on the areas here, if you can tell on your screen, there's sort of a faint pattern on the areas where it is not their range. And then the purple pieces don't have that same sort of swirl pattern. This is an accommodation for students who might have color blindness or other visual differences so that they can still pull out that information about the range, even if they can't perceive the color exactly. You'll also notice that animal articles have a sound where there are animals that make sounds. So the frogs, for instance, have a sound that goes along with them as well. So animals have, of course, they break down by type of animal. You'll also find animal habitats and animal classification out here. If we go into the science module, of course, this is going to have all of sort of that basic and deep breadth and width of elementary science content, but you'll also find out here things like inventions, math. There are some math articles out here. There's methods of making art out in the science module, as well as technology, technology and science and engineering. Really important hits on things like your digital footprint, internet safety, social media, cyberbullying. So really helpful to have all of this out here. And because you have this copy link button right at the top here, what's really nice is if you are doing a unit around digital citizenship and you'd like to share that information out to parents or something like that, you've got this easy copy link here. That authenticated link can be shared via a parent email or a newsletter, any kind of communication like that, so they can log in, read about digital citizenship, and really reinforce that with their students at home. And what's nice, of course, is that because it logs them in, that has opened the door. So now they really have access to all of Pebble Go from home. And it really makes that school home connection very easy to accomplish with that easy login. Biographies, you'll note a wide range of people out here. Of course, historical figures, people who align with your social studies curriculum, but also just people that students might really enjoy reading about, like actors and entertainers, musicians, artists, things like that. And what's nice is that because this is digital, of course, we can keep it up to date very easily and update those things as they change. One thing to note out here, if you come across it, I'm going to find it here. If you are scrolling through and at any point you see this silhouette image, this is not an error on the site. This is a conscious choice that we made because as we were building Pebble Go, we always tried to only include biographies of figures that we could find a verified photo or portrait of that person. But of course, as we know, historically, access to portraiture and photography would have been very difficult for people of different social and racial and economic backgrounds to obtain. So in order to tell the stories of a wide range of history makers, we started adding this silhouette image so that we can still tell stories of important figures, in this case, the important inventor of the street mailbox. We can still tell this story, but we don't have a verified image. So rather than share something that's not quite accurate, we chose to do it that way. Social studies we looked at, and then health is, of course, our newest module. And this one has a wide range of both physical health, but also mental health and emotional well-being articles that you'll find out here. Once again, with that school-home connection, it's really worth repeating. This is something that you can share out with parents, that school counselors, schools, social workers, principals, this can be shared from here as well. So again, really reinforcing units that you might be working on in your school and at grade level for students and their well-being. We are consistently refreshing our content out here in Pebble Go. A couple of new categories that were just added a few months ago would be this past and present. This is a great topic, and it really aligns with a lot of state and national social studies standards on comparing the past and the present, how things have evolved over time. So this is a new category, and you'll find out that out here in social studies. As well as states. We have now added a states article for every state plus Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. And those are now at that kindergarten through second grade level, which has, previously we had for third through fifth grade in Pebble Go Next, which your district does not have a subscription to Pebble Go Next, but within that third through fifth grade module, there were always states articles there. We've brought that down here to K2 now as well. So as I said, we do release new articles throughout the year. Another thing that you might have noticed if you were out in your Pebble Go account is that you have some ebooks that now live in that same platform. They all exist kind of in one easy place to access. The navigation of these is very similar to Pebble Go. You can navigate by book type up here, and it just narrows down your menus just like it does in Pebble Go. And you can navigate with the breadcrumbs back across the top as well. The further you get in, of course, the more narrow your results will be. If we wanted to just send a list of, all your nonfiction, we could do that here with the copy link, because that's still up here at the top of the page. You can very easily link students out to your nonfiction ebook collection from here as well. When you click into the titles, they all include read aloud audio as well, just like Pebble Go. And of course, they have the citation support and the copy link button for those as well. We won't go too in depth with those because I know we're focusing on Pebble Go today, but you'll note that they are all in one place now. All of these things you can certainly access from school or from home 24/7.
Quick question. If they add Pebble Go, or not Pebble Go, Capstone ebooks, that will land on their particular ebook tab. So if a school purchases ebooks, they will find those in the ebook tab as well.
Melissa, do you want to take this, or should I take this one?
It doesn't matter. Because you have a district login, one username, password for everybody, if a school purchases them for that school site, we would give you a new username and password to log into the ebooks. It's going to look the same. It's just not going to be tied with your district Pebble Go subscription.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Good question. And as I said, all of this now is in one place. And just like with Pebble Go, if you had that third through next Pebble Go Next option, that would appear here as well. That's just what the screenshot shows. So showing you that one as well. Your login options for the district, you have, as we just said, one district-wide login that can be accessed at login.pebblego.com. Your username is Palm Beach. Your password is schools. It's very simple. Couldn't be much easier for you to access that. But there's also a direct URL that you have. And if you've got that saved out there, it's simple as clicking that direct link or clicking in on any of those copy links that you have. So as far as some ideas for how you can use these in your classroom, because there are some really fun ways that we can kind of get this out to our students and get them using it. One would be creating some choice boards. And I'm actually going to put in the chat here, when I get to the end, a link that has all of these activities linked on it. So there'll be one link for you that will have all these different choice boards and activities. These are yours to use. You can make a copy of them. Go ahead and use them however you wish. But because you have that copy link option on each article, making a choice board becomes really simple. You've got, for instance, energy, this little choice board about energy and forces in motion, or this amazing animals with kind of those new and interesting animals. If you wanted to create your choice board, it's just as easy as finding your article. So for instance, the pink fairy armadillos. If you go out here and you just go to the article for pink fairy armadillos, they're so cute. And you grab this copy link. Now that's going to link your students directly to that. So when you go back to this pre-made choice board, you just insert that link right over the top of the image, and you've got, the start of a choice board. Really nice, easy way to do that. These are yours to use how you wish, but it's pretty easy to make them as well, because you just screen cap a little bit of it, add the image and the link. Another choice board, and then an assessment option would be this activity on shapes. So you can see the first slide will have just this easy choice board where young students can go out and read the article about all the different shapes. And then the next slide will have this shape sort on it. So then students will be encouraged to move the shapes to the column, for the shape that they correspond with. Similar assessment and choice board option would be this one on maps. Again, we made a little choice board with information about maps, reading about what they are, map keys, map directions, and then the students can go out and, using the map and the directions, move these buildings in the key to the location in the activity where it says that they are. There's some choice boards out here for Earth and space, some graphic organizers. All of this is available for you to use. And a one that I really like is just this very simple, it's just one slide, but it's 3 truths and a lie. You can use this with any topic, really. If you're researching historical figures, if you're learning about animals or a science topic, students can go out and find 4 facts, well, 3 facts and 1 lie, and then add them in and then try to stump each other and see if they can figure out which one is the lie. Just kind of a fun way for them to cap off a unit in that way. All of these can be found on this choice board. I'm going to put the link in the chat for you. So there is a bit.ly link there that has all of these different choice boards linked on it. They are Google Slide templates. So what it's going to do when you click them is just prompt you to make a copy of it. Then you'll have that in your own account, and you can go ahead and edit that, make a copy of it, share it out to your students. And linked on these as well is a short video on how to add that direct link over the top. So if you are not totally confident on that, not a problem, because there's a little linked video out there that will show you how to do all of that. Just a quick note that there are a lot more resources beyond the ones that I just shared with you, those Google Slide templates. If you go out to pebblego.com/resources, here you'll find full content maps, a wide range of lesson plans and activity ideas. This is a really good page to bookmark, pebblego.com/resources. However, if you don't want to bookmark it, it also lives out here on your Pebble Go site It is the one external link that lives out here on Pebble Go, and it is at this educator resources link at the bottom. If you go out here, then you'll be brought to a menu where you can find lesson plans and activities in both English and Spanish for all of the modules. There's also content maps. So every time that we add new content, we refresh the content maps out here. So that would be a good place for you to go and pull down a new content map every time. And then there's promotional content as well. That's not us promoting it to you, but rather you promoting that out to your students and staff and families. So there are some printables out here. We put out these fun monthly calendars. So if you want to celebrate, for instance, Dress Your Pet Day on Saturday, go ahead. I wish you well. And then it links the Pebble Go article. So in this case, that goes along with the article on pets. Just a fun way to get students out there and exploring Pebble Go, trying out some new things as well. Again, that was pebblego.com/resources. So now we have just a couple minutes. If there are any questions, it looks like Melissa's been out here maybe answering them a little bit as well. But if there are questions, go ahead and unmute or ask in the chat. Fantastic.
Perfect. This was wonderful. Thank you guys so much for coming and joining us. I'm so glad we were able to reschedule this. Remember, if you need anything at all, give Melissa a call or an email. She's super responsive. And with that, I'm going to say that there's Melissa's contact information, and it will be in the recording. So if you need it, it will be there at the end. This was fantastic again. Like I said, have a great afternoon, and I will see you guys all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.